This is not fear speaking. This is care. I see what is forming before it reaches you, and I am asking for only a few minutes of your full attention, because the truth you need is simple, but it is urgent. If you turn away now, you may miss the very thing that was meant to guard your body and preserve your life. So stay. Be still. Let these words settle in you before you decide what they are worth. You did not arrive at this moment by accident. Nothing about this hour is random. I have been reaching for you in quiet ways, through a thought that kept returning, through a word spoken by someone who did not know why they said it, through a stillness that came over you when you least expected it. You brushed those moments aside. You told yourself they meant nothing. So now I am speaking plainly, in a voice you cannot mistake. There is something forming ahead of you. It is not sudden to me, though it would feel sudden to you. I see the pattern taking shape, the choices lining up, the small neglects gathering weight in places you cannot see. You feel calm today. But calm that is built on not looking is not peace. I want you to have real peace, and real peace begins with seeing clearly. Hear me well. This warning is not punishment. It is protection given before harm arrives. A father who sees his child walking toward a hidden pit does not stay silent to be polite. He calls out. He calls loudly if he must, because love raises its voice when danger is near. That is what I am doing now. My voice is lifted, not in anger, but in a love that refuses to lose you. I warned Noah before the rain began. I sent word to Nineveh before the city fell. I have always spoken before the storm because warning is the mercy that comes first. When I speak like this, it means the outcome is not yet fixed. It means there is still time. If there were no hope for you, I would not be speaking at all. My words are proof that your story can still turn. You are not hearing this because you are weak. You are hearing it because you are valuable. I do not guard what has no purpose. I guard what carries meaning, what carries a future. There is work ahead that only you can do, and there are people ahead whom only you can reach. That is why I refuse to let you drift toward harm without a word. You matter too much for silence. Some of what I must tell you concerns your body, the vessel I formed with my own hands and my own intention. Some of it concerns the road you are walking and the choices waiting on it. The two are joined more deeply than you know. What burdens your heart wears on your frame, and what wears on your frame clouds your judgment. I will speak to both, because I made both, and I mean to guard both. You have felt small warnings already, a tiredness that rest did not cure, an unease about a certain matter that you keep pushing down, a discomfort that returned when you thought it had passed. These were not random. They were quiet calls for your attention, and I allowed them so that you would slow down and listen. You pushed forward instead. But pushing forward without listening is how small things become heavy things. I see deeper than what shows on the surface. I see the strain you have learned to carry like an ordinary coat. I see how you answer that you are fine while something in you quietly asks for help. You have become skilled at holding things together. But I am not asking you to hold things together. I am asking you to hold on to me. Do not let the seriousness of my tone convince you that something terrible is certain. Seriousness is not finality. It is importance. And importance, when it is received, becomes the doorway to change. What could grow into something heavy can still be reduced, redirected, even removed, when you align yourself with what I am showing you. That is why I interrupted your day, not to frighten you, but to reach you in time. If you believe I am speaking to you in this moment, say your amen now. Whether you spoke it aloud or only within, I received it. A heart that turns toward me even slightly gives me room to work. That small turning is how every rescue begins. Moses turned aside to look at a burning bush, and a nation's deliverance followed. Nothing about your rescue requires greatness from you. It only requires attention. There is a window open right now. Within it, change is easier. Your body is still responsive, and your circumstances are still soft enough to be reshaped. Windows do not stay open forever. I'm not saying this to press panic into you, because panic closes the mind. I am saying it because acting now will cost you little and acting late will cost you much. Wisdom weighs those two prices and chooses early. So here is what I ask as we begin. Put down what you were about to rush toward. Quiet the voice that says this can wait. For these few minutes, give me your whole attention, the way you would give it to a messenger who ran a long way to reach you. Because that is what this is. A message carried to you on purpose, at the exact hour you needed it. In the words ahead, I will show you what has been draining you, what is forming around you, and the decisions that stand between you and the harm I intend to stop. I will also show you the path out, because I never expose a danger without opening a door. Stay with me. Listen closely. Your next days can be different from your last ones, and the difference begins here. Let me speak first about your body, because it has been speaking about you for a long time. I shaped it with intention. Every part of it has meaning, and none of it was left to chance. It is not merely flesh to me. It is the dwelling I gave you for your journey, the lamp that carries your light through this world. When I look at it, I see my own workmanship. That is why I will not stay quiet while it wears down. Your body has been sending you messages, and it has been faithful about it. There was the energy that dropped without reason, the sleep that did not restore you, the small discomfort that stayed longer than it should have, then returned after you decided it was gone. You called these things nothing. They were not nothing. They were a servant knocking on the door of the house, asking the owner to come and see. Think back. There was a moment not long ago when you felt something in your body that made you pause. You stood still for a breath, wondered about it, then talked yourself out of it. I am pointing at that exact moment now. It was an early signal, and it deserved your attention. When a feeling repeats, when a discomfort lingers, that is not coincidence. That is a pattern asking to be heard. I also see the pace you have been keeping. You move from one task to the next without a pause between them, rushing through hours that needed your presence. You have treated rest as a reward you must earn instead of a provision I commanded. Even I rested when the work of creation was done, not from weariness, but to teach you the rhythm that keeps a living thing whole. You have stepped out of that rhythm. It is time to step back in. Notice your breathing, even now. When pressure rises, your breath grows thin and shallow, and your shoulders climb toward your ears. Tension has settled into your neck, your back, your jaw, so quietly that you no longer notice you are carrying it. It has become a background weight you mistake for normal life. It is not normal. It is a load, and loads can be set down. Strength is not the problem. You have plenty of it. You have endured more than most people around you realize, and you have done it without complaint. But strength that never rests turns into silent strain. And silent strain is what has been building in you. I am not asking you to stop being strong. I am asking you to stop using strength as a wall between you and the truth of what you feel. Let an amen rise from your heart if you receive this warning about your body. Your body responds to what you give it, not once but over time. Give it rest, and it learns to recover. Give it strain without relief, and it learns to brace. This means you hold real influence over how it feels, even when change seems slow. A field does not turn green the day after rain, but the rain still matters. Every choice of care you make is rain on dry ground. Learn to visit yourself during the day, not only at its edges. Pause in the middle of your work and ask a plain question. How am I right now? Not how is the work, not how are the others, but how am I? You have been so attentive to everything around you that you have become a stranger to what is happening within you. A short, honest answer, noticed early, can spare you a long, hard season later. So begin with what is simple. Slow your breath until it deepens on its own. Drink what your body has been asking for. Eat what strengthens rather than what merely fills. Move gently, enough to loosen what has gone stiff from stillness. Guard your sleep the way you would guard a treasure, because that is when I do my repairing work in you. None of this requires greatness. It requires consistency, and consistency is a form of faith. And hear this clearly, because pride and fear both try to muffle it. If something in your body feels unusual or persistent, do not face it with silence. Seek out those with knowledge and let them examine what troubles you. Asking for help is not weakness, and it is not a lack of faith. I work through skilled hands as surely as I work through prayer. Ignoring a signal I sent you is not trust. It is delay, and delay is the only thing I am warning you against. There is also weight on you that no meal or sleep can touch, because it did not come from your habits. It came from your worry. Thoughts that circle without landing. Concerns you rehearse at night when the house is quiet. Pressure you place on yourself to keep going no matter the cost. That weight does not stay in the mind. It sinks into the chest, the stomach, the muscles, and it presses on everything. You were never meant to carry it this long. Cast that burden onto me. I am not offering you a pleasant saying. I am offering you an exchange as real as any trade ever made. You hand me the weight, and I hand you back the strength to walk. My servant Elijah once lay down under a tree and asked for his life to end, worn past his limit. I did not scold him. I gave him food and sleep, and then I gave him his next assignment. That is how I treat the exhausted. Care first. Direction after. You are not fragile, but you are human, and being human means you require care. Honoring your limits does not shrink your life. It preserves it. From this day, I want you to treat attention to your body as obedience, not indulgence. Because the road ahead of you requires a vessel that is not running empty. And the road ahead is exactly what I must speak of next. For time plays a part in everything I am about to ask of you. Now I must speak to you about timing, because timing is part of every deliverance I have ever worked. The sea did not part a week early or a day late. It parted at the moment my people needed to cross. There is a moment like that in front of you now, a season when your circumstances are still soft, still able to be turned. What you do inside this season will decide how much of my warning ever needs to come true. Understand what I am telling you. The trouble forming ahead of you is not one great event waiting on the calendar. It is a chain being forged one link at a time, out of small choices, small neglects, small silences. Chains like that are easy to break while they are short. They grow harder with every link. That is why I am asking you to act now while the breaking is still easy, and not later, when it will demand far more from you. An action for you begins with trust. Not trust as a word you say, but trust as a thing you do. From the beginning, my people have marked their trust by what they were willing to place in my hands. Abel brought the best of his flock. The widow dropped her last 2 coins into the treasury, and I called her offering greater than all the rest. Trust that costs nothing changes nothing. Trust that costs something changes everything. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. Now let me show you what else must leave your hands, because an offering is not the only thing I am asking you to release. There are weights in your life that no altar requires and no purpose blesses. They drain you quietly, day after day, and you have carried them so long that you call them yours. They are not yours. Some of them never were. And do not fear that what you set down in obedience will leave a hole in your life. I fill every space that faith empties. The jar of the widow at Zarephath did not run dry, though she poured from it first for my servant. Pouring out came before filling up. It always has. Consider also what surrounds you, the places where you spend your hours, the voices you allow close, the company you keep when your guard is down. Some of these strengthen you, and some of them draw from you like a slow leak from a vessel. You leave certain rooms more tired than you entered them, and you have never asked why. Ask now. Not everything near you deserves to remain near you, and noticing the difference is not judgment. It is stewardship of the life I placed in your keeping. Begin with the burdens you took up on behalf of others. You have a generous heart, and I delight in it. But somewhere along the way, your generosity stopped choosing and started absorbing. You take on troubles that were never assigned to you. You stand under loads that belong to other shoulders, and you call it love. Love bears with others. It does not disappear into them. Even Moses, when he tried to judge every dispute alone, was told to share the load before it broke him. If I set limits for Moses, you may accept limits too. So I give you permission that you have been afraid to give yourself. You may step back. You may say no. You may let a request go unanswered while you recover your strength. Boundaries are not walls against love. They are the banks of a river, and without banks, a river becomes a swamp. With them it becomes a force that turns mills and waters fields. I did not make you to be a swamp. I made you to be a river. There is also a habit I must name, though I will name it gently. You know the one. It is the pattern you return to when you are tired or discouraged, the one that promises relief and delivers only more emptiness. You have told yourself it is small. You have told yourself you can stop whenever you choose. But it has been collecting from you, little by little, energy and time and self-respect. It is one of the links in the chain I described. Release it, and you will feel the whole chain loosen. And there is something older, further back, that still has a hand on you. A wound you have not forgiven, or a failure of your own that you have not let me forgive. You keep it in a locked room and visit it when no one is looking. Every visit costs you something. Unforgiveness does not protect you from the past. It delivers the past into your present, again and again. I am asking you to open that room and let me clear it out. Not because the wrong did not matter, but because you were never built to be its warehouse. Joseph carried the memory of a pit and a prison, put there by his own brothers. When the day came to face them, he wept, and he let the account be settled in my hands instead of his. That release did not erase his history. It freed his future. The same door stands open for you. Walk through it, And much of what I am warning you about loses its power on the spot, because bitterness was one of the roads by which harm planned to reach you. Do you see what is happening as you release these things? Your hands are coming free. Free hands can receive. Free hands can build. Free hands can catch what I have been waiting to give you. A person whose grip is full of old weights cannot take hold of a new season. So let go, one weight at a time, and watch how quickly your strength returns when it stops being spent on what was never yours to carry. Now I will speak about the road ahead, and I ask you to listen with a steady heart, because what I say next requires clear eyes rather than racing thoughts. The harm I have been warning you about does not plan to arrive with noise. It plans to arrive dressed in the ordinary. It will come through a decision that looks small, a voice that sounds familiar, an open door that seems fortunate. That is why awareness, not alarm, is your protection. There is a decision you have been delaying. You know the one because it surfaced in your mind just now, before you could stop it. You have turned it over for weeks, walked up to it, and walked away again. Hear me. That decision is heavier than it appears. It is one of the hinges on which your coming season swings. Your delay has not made it smaller. Delay only feeds the risk I am trying to remove from your path. I am not telling you which choice to make as a puzzle for you to guess. I have already been telling you through the unrest you feel every time you lean the wrong way. That hesitation you keep dismissing is not weakness or fear of change. It is my hand on your shoulder. When you lean toward what is right, a quiet settles in you. When you lean toward what is wrong, something in you tightens. Learn to read those signals, for I wrote them into you as a compass. There is also a connection close to you that requires honest eyes. I will not name it harshly because not everything in it is bad, but something within it is not aligned with your good. You have sensed this in small flashes and talked yourself out of it, because the familiarity feels warm and the history feels binding. I am not commanding you to cut anyone away in anger. I am asking you to observe with clarity. Notice how your peace behaves in that presence. Peace that consistently leaves a room when someone enters it is telling you the truth. Remember how often my protection works through noticing. A word that does not match an action. A promise that keeps moving its date. A kindness that always carries a hook inside it. You have seen these small details and dismissed them as your imagination. They were not imagination. They were evidence, quietly gathered and quietly ignored. From today, let evidence speak. You can love people fully and still see them accurately. Indeed, you cannot love them well until you do. Beware, too, of the offer that will come looking like rescue. Something is approaching that will present itself as an opportunity, bright at the surface, urgent in its manner. It will press you to decide quickly. It will hint that hesitation means losing everything. Mark this well. What is truly from me does not behave that way. My gates do not slam shut on the sincere. When a thing demands haste and punishes thought, that is not my voice inside it. My voice brings clarity, and clarity is never in a hurry. So when that pressured moment arrives, do what the wise have always done. Step back. Sleep before you sign. Ask questions and study how the answers behave under light. If the ground is honest, it will hold while you examine it. If it is false, your patience will crack it open. Either way, patience wins. Esau traded a birthright for a single meal because hunger convinced him the moment could not wait. It could have waited. Almost everything can wait one honest day. I must also warn you about comfort, because comfort is where this danger hides best. There is a part of your life that has grown familiar, and something inside you has been whispering that it is time to move, to change, to leave. You have stayed because staying is easier, and the familiar feels safe. But not everything familiar is good for you, and not everything comfortable is safe. A nest can be warm and still sit on a breaking branch. I am telling you to look at the branch, not the nest. None of this asks you to live suspicious of everyone and everything. Suspicion is fear wearing glasses. I am giving you discernment, which is different. Discernment is love with its eyes open. It moves calmly, judges slowly, and acts firmly once it sees. Fear closes your mind, but discernment opens it, and an open mind sees paths, exits, and answers that panic never finds. You may feel your perspective shifting even as you hear this. Things that seemed confusing this morning are arranging themselves into sense. Matters you had filed away as settled are asking to be looked at again. That shift is not distress. It is sight returning. I am adjusting how you see, so that when the moment comes, you will not need anyone to tell you what to do. You will know. And when you know, act. Seeing without acting is where most rescues fail. Lot's family was warned, taken by the hand, and told plainly not to look back. Yet one heart still clung to the burning place. Do not cling. When I show you the turn, take the turn. I will handle what you leave behind, and I will honor every step you take in obedience, even the trembling ones. Especially the trembling ones. Hold on to this as the ground beneath everything else I have said. The chain of harm is built from unexamined moments, and you are no longer a person who lives unexamined. Each choice you now make with open eyes removes a link. Each pause before pressure breaks another. You are dismantling, piece by piece, the very thing that was being prepared against you. This is what cooperation with my protection looks like. Not hiding, but walking wisely, one clear-eyed decision at a time. Come back with me now to the inner rooms, because the outer road and the inner life rise and fall together. What happens in your thoughts does not stay in your thoughts. A mind at war makes a body at war. A heart at rest makes a body that can heal. The wise have said it from ancient days. A heart at peace gives life to the flesh. You have been proving the other half of that proverb without meaning to. There are feelings inside you that were never given a voice. Grief you swallowed because others needed you steady. Anger you buried because good people are not supposed to feel it. Disappointment you renamed as acceptance and filed away unopened. Hear me. Those feelings did not dissolve. What is buried alive does not die. It settles into the body and pays rent in tension, in weariness, in a heaviness you cannot explain to anyone. So I am asking you to do something that will feel unfamiliar. Tell me the truth. Not the polished version you give to people, and not the brave version you give to yourself. The plain truth. Speak it in prayer, out loud, in a room with no audience. David did this in his songs, and I did not strike him down for his honesty. I drew near to it. I called him a man after my own heart, not because his feelings were tidy, but because he brought them all to me. Honesty before me is not complaining. It is unloading a wagon that was never meant to cross the mountains full. Each truth you speak sets something down, and when the wagon is lighter, the whole journey changes. Your sleep changes. Your breath changes. Even your face changes, in ways those around you will notice before you do. Now listen to how you speak to yourself, because I have heard it, and it grieves me. When you stumble, the voice inside you says things you would never say to a friend. It calls you slow, behind, failing, too late. That voice did not come from me. I correct my children, but I never despise them. From this day, when you speak of yourself, speak as one describing someone I love. Because you are describing someone I love. Whisper your amen if you are willing to be made new from the inside out. That willingness is the doorway, because renewal is my craft. I renew the mind the way spring renews a field, not by force, but by steady warmth in one direction. Feed your thoughts what is true, noble, and worthy of praise, and starve the circling worries that have eaten your evenings. You cannot stop a bird from passing overhead, but you can stop it from building a nest in your hair. Worries will pass by. Nesting is what I am ending. Build small stillness into your days and guard it. A few quiet moments in the morning before the demands begin. A pause at midday to breathe deeply and remember that I am holding the world, so you do not have to. Stillness is not idleness. It is the posture in which your strength is exchanged for mine. Those who wait on me renew their strength. That promise has never expired, and it has your name on it. And in that stillness, let me retrain what urgency has taught you. Urgency has taught you that your worth is your output. It is a lie with a busy schedule. Your worth was set by me, and it does not rise on productive days or fall on tired ones. When you understand this, rest stops feeling like theft. You can lie down at night without guilt, because the one who never sleeps is on duty, and he does not need your help through the dark hours. Some of the weight in your chest is not about you at all. It is about those you love. You carry their struggles into your nights, turning their troubles over as if worrying were a form of guarding. I understand that ache, but hear me. Your worry adds nothing to their protection, while your prayer adds everything. So trade the one for the other. Name before me the ones you carry in prayer, and then leave them in my keeping until morning. I can be trusted with them through the night. I always have been. I want you to notice something that has already begun. There have been moments recently, small ones, when you felt lighter for no clear reason. A morning that did not start with dread. An hour when the old heaviness forgot to report. Those were not accidents. They were first fruits, early evidence that your turning toward me is already working beneath the surface. Change often begins quietly, like leaven in dough, long before the eye can see it. Do not despise slow progress, and do not let a bad day convince you the work has failed. Healing is not a straight staircase. Some days you will fall into an old pattern, an old thought, an old heaviness. When that happens, do not add shame to the load. Simply return. The returning is the practice. A righteous person falls 7 times and rises again, and I count the rising, not the falling. Remember also that my mercies do not carry balances forward. They are new every morning. Yesterday's failure does not sit at today's table unless you seat it there. Each dawn I hand you a day with nothing written on it, and I ask only that you walk it with me honestly. You do not have to earn back my favor after a hard week. You never lost it. What you lost was your sense of it, and sense returns the moment you turn toward me again. Stay near to me in this season, the way a lamp stays near its oil. Speak to me plainly. Bring me the worry the moment it arrives, before it unpacks. Give me the first minutes of your morning and the last thought of your night, and let me stand guard over everything between them. Peace I give to you, not the fragile kind the world trades in, but the kind that holds its ground in a storm. Let not your heart be troubled. I have overcome much worse than what stands in front of you. Now I must prepare you for something, because forewarned is forearmed, and I do not send my children into a field without telling them where the stones lie. A moment is approaching that will test everything you have received today. It will not announce itself as a test. It will arrive wearing the clothes of an ordinary day, and it will feel almost comfortable, as if nothing ever needed to change. That familiarity is the disguise. Do not trust it because it is familiar. Examine it because it is familiar. Here is how it will work. Something will invite you back. Back to the old pattern, the old pace, the old silence about what you feel, the old habit you have begun to release. The invitation will be soft. It will say that one time changes nothing, that you have earned a return, that all this new carefulness is exhausting and unnecessary. Old doors always advertise when they feel you leaving. The advertising is not a sign you should return. It is a sign your leaving is real. Patterns do not break themselves. They break when a person sees them coming and chooses differently. Once, then again, until the new way wears its own path. You are able to do this now in a way you were not able before, because you are no longer walking blind. When the moment comes, pause before you answer it. That pause is holy ground. Inside it, you have time to remember everything you heard today, and remembering is most of the victory. Expect distraction as well. When a person begins to turn their life, distractions gather like moths at a lamp. A sudden demand on your time, a small crisis that insists it cannot wait, a piece of news that sets your thoughts spinning. Not every interruption is an enemy, but in this season, weigh each one before you follow it. Nehemiah kept building the wall while voices called him to come down and meet about it. He answered from the wall. You may answer from the wall too. There will also be a voice, and this one comes from within, that tells you that you are overthinking all of this. It will say you are being dramatic, too cautious, too sensitive. Mark that voice well, because it only ever speaks when you are close to a change that matters. It never bothers a person drifting toward harm. It saves its breath for those walking out. When you hear it, let it confirm your direction rather than question it. And I will be honest with you about people. Some who are close to you will not understand what you are becoming. Your new boundaries will inconvenience those who benefited from your lack of them. Your honesty will unsettle those who preferred your silence. Your rest will look like laziness to those who valued you mainly for your labor. Let them wonder. You are not being shaped for their approval. A lamp is not required to apologize to the darkness for shining. Do not harden your heart against them, though. Some are not opposing you. They are simply startled because you are moving, and they had learned to lean on your standing still. Give them time. Some will adjust, and a few will even follow, because courage is quietly contagious. The ones who cannot accept any version of you that is well, those you may love from a healthier distance. Love does not require you to remain within reach of what wounds you. Through all of this, trust the inner knowing I have placed in you. It has grown stronger through every minute of this message. It is that settled sense that recognizes truth when truth walks in. The quiet no that rises before you can explain it. The quiet yes that outlasts your doubts. My sheep know my voice. You have known it longer than you realize. Every time you almost did something and could not go through with it, and later saw why, that was knowing. Honor it now on purpose instead of by accident. Your body will help you in this if you let it. It has learned today's lessons alongside your spirit. When something is wrong, you may feel it before you can name it. A tightening, an unease, a heaviness that enters the room with certain matters. When something is right, a steadiness comes, quiet as morning light. These signals are not superstition. They are part of the design I built into you, the same design I have been asking you to stop ignoring. Spirit and body agreeing together make a witness that is hard to deceive. Let me tell you what standing firm will look like, so you can recognize yourself doing it. It will look small. It will be a sentence spoken calmly where you once would have stayed quiet. An evening kept for rest against a tide of demands. A second look at an offer everyone else has already praised. A walk taken to loosen your body while the work shouts that it cannot spare you. No trumpet will sound over these moments, but in them, the entire direction of your life will be turning. And when you stumble, and somewhere you will because every walker stumbles, remember what I told you about returning. The test is not passed by perfection. It is passed by refusing to stay down. Peter failed on the worst possible night, 3 denials before the rooster cried, and that failure did not end his story. I met him on a shore afterward and gave him work to do. Failure that returns to me becomes training. Only failure that hides becomes ruin. So walk into the coming days without dread. You are not waiting to see whether the test will find you strong enough. You are deciding here and now how you will answer it, and a decision made in peace is stronger than one made under fire. Set it in your heart tonight. When the familiar invitation comes, I will pause. When the pressure comes, I will breathe and step back. When the doubting voice comes, I will remember whose I am. Settle these answers now, and the test will find them already in place. Now hear the part of this message that I have been saving. The way a father saves the best word for last. Everything I have shown you today, the warnings, the releases, the preparations, all of it has been clearing ground. And ground is only cleared for one reason. Something is meant to be built on it. I have not been steering you away from harm so you could stand in an empty field. I have been steering you toward something, and it is time you heard what. There is a place ahead of you where your strength is not spent before noon, where your sleep restores you and your mornings do not begin with bracing, where the decisions that once circled your mind for weeks resolve in days, because you and I are deciding them together, where the people around you are the ones who add to you and the work of your hands finally lands on good soil. This is not a dream I am describing, it is a direction. Every instruction I gave you today is a step on the road that leads there. Do not measure that road by how you feel tonight. Feelings are weather, and I am speaking about climate. There will still be gray days on the way. What changes is what the days add up to. A person walking with me can lose an afternoon and still gain the year. So judge this season by its harvest, not by its single storms. And remember that the one who plows in hope owns a future the anxious cannot imagine. And I have not forgotten the ones you love. I heard every name your heart lifted while you listened, including the ones you did not speak. I am able to reach them in places you cannot go and at hours you will never see. Your task is not to be their rescuer. That position is filled. Your task is to become living evidence of what I can do with a person who listens, so that when they wonder whether change is possible, they can look at you and stop wondering. Here is what I ask of you when these words end, and I ask it plainly because plain things get done. Tonight, rest without guilt. Tomorrow, take the smallest obedience within reach. Drink what your body needs. Speak one honest sentence you have been withholding. Set down one weight that was never yours. The day after, do it again. I am not asking for a heroic week. I am asking for a faithful one. Heroics impress people. Faithfulness moves me. Keep the pause I taught you. Before the familiar invitation, pause. Before the pressured decision, pause. Before the harsh word to yourself, pause. In every pause, you will find me already there, because I do not meet you only in temples and storms. I meet you in the half-second between impulse and action. That is the narrow gate where most of your future will be decided, and I will stand in it with you every time. Watch over your peace as a guard watches over a city. When it leaves a conversation, notice. When it settles on a path, notice. I gave you that signal so you would never have to navigate by other people's noise. The world will always be loud, and it will always be certain, and it will very often be wrong. Peace is quieter than the world, which is why so few follow it. Follow it anyway. It has never once led you toward the harm I warned about. It never will. And concerning what you placed in my hands in trust, hold no anxiety over it. Seed in the ground looks like loss to anyone who has never seen a harvest. The farmer knows better, and now so do you. What you released is not gone. It is ahead of you, working in soil you cannot see, and you will meet it again in a form larger than the one it left in. I keep accounts more carefully than any steward on earth, and no one has ever outgiven me. Do not tell yourself that this hour was ordinary. You will be tempted to once daily life closes back over you like water. But something happened here that does not happen every day. You stopped. You listened all the way to the end. You let truth name things in your life that flattery had been protecting. Most people never sit still long enough to be found like this. You did. And what has been spoken into you today will keep working long after the sound of it fades, the way seed keeps working under quiet ground. If the day comes when you feel far from me again, and such days come to everyone, do not rebuild the distance with shame. Just speak. One word is enough. I have never once been the one who moved away, and I will not begin with you. My eye does not wander from my own. Even when your faith thins to a thread is enough for me to hold. I have anchored whole lives on less. So now, stand up on the inside. Let your shoulders come down from your ears. Unclench what you have been clenching. The tragedy that was forming has met its interruption, because you heard, and hearing became turning, and turning is the one thing harm cannot survive. Walk out of this hour lighter than you entered it. Care for the vessel I made. Choose with open eyes. Release quickly, rest deeply. Return always. Remember too who you are as you go. Not a person barely escaping trouble, but an heir walking a prepared road. I do not merely tolerate you, I chose you. Long before this message reached your ears, I had already decided you were worth warning, worth guarding, worth building. Let that settle any question of your value that today's words stirred up. The Maker of all things bent low to speak with you at length. That is not what abandonment looks like. That is what belonging looks like. I am with you tonight as you close your eyes, and I will be there before your eyes open, already at work on the day waiting for you. I will go before you to make the crooked places straight. I will stand behind you as a rear guard and beside you as a companion on the road. No word I have spoken to you today will return to me empty. It will accomplish what I sent it to do in you, and you will live to see it and know it was me. My child, the path is open. The season has turned. What remains is your yes. Declare your amen now and walk with me into the days I have prepared for you.
We run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.